Okay, when you think of the automobile, one name pretty much always pops into your head, right? Henry Ford. But what if I told you he didn't actually invent it? Today, we're going to dig into the story of the man who didn't just put the world on wheels, he completely rewired how we live.
And yeah, that's the big puzzle right there. If Henry Ford didn't invent the car, why is his name practically synonymous with it? That's the real question, and trust me, the answer's about so much more than just a machine.
To really get what Ford did, you first have to understand the world he was about to blow up. Before him, cars were basically handcrafted toys for the super rich. They were expensive, unreliable, and you hardly ever saw one. Ford's vision, the total opposite. He wanted a car for everybody, a machine that was tough, cheap, and could be mass-produced.
So, where does a revolution like that even start? Well, for Henry Ford, it all began on a farm, where this young kid was way more interested in how a watch worked than in, farming.
He was born back in 1863, the farm boy who was just obsessed with how things worked. He was famous for taking watches apart, not to break them, but just to see the gears, to understand the mechanism. So it's no surprise that by the time he was 16, he was gone. He left the farm and headed straight for the factories of Detroit to become a machinist.
And that hands-on experience in Detroit, it was everything. It's where all those mechanical daydreams started to become real, workable ideas. So let's see how we went from a clunky little experiment to a machine that would literally change the map of the world.
And here it is, the Quadricycle from 1896. I mean, it looks pretty basic, doesn't it? It's really not much more than a metal frame, 4 bicycle wheels, and a little engine. But you know what? It worked. This was the proof of concept. This was the first real step toward making the car a reality for everyone.
But it was not a smooth ride from there. I mean, his first 2 car companies completely failed. In that competitive world, most people would have just given up. But not Ford. For him, every single mistake, every failure was just another lesson on the way to getting it right. He was relentless.
And all of that trial and error, all those failures, they all led to this, the Model T, which rolled out in 1908. This thing wasn't just another car. It was a game changer. It was reliable, it was sturdy, and maybe most importantly, it was simple enough that an ordinary person could actually fix it themselves. This was a workhorse, not some fancy show pony.
Okay, but having a great product is only half the battle. To make the Model T affordable enough for millions of people, Ford knew he had to completely rethink not just what he was building, but how he was building it.
And this right here is the core of his genius, the moving assembly line, which he perfected around 1913. The idea was just brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of having workers run around a car, he made the car move past the workers. Each person did one small, specific job over and over. Tighten a bolt, attach a part, as the car's frame just glided by.
And the result? It was incredible. The time it took to build one car fell from more than 12 hours to just an hour and a half. Costs just plummeted. And suddenly, that dream of a car in every garage wasn't a dream anymore. This was way bigger than cars. It was the blueprint for all modern manufacturing.
But Ford wasn't done innovating. Not even close. His next huge move had nothing to do with machines or factory layouts. No, this one was all about the people. In 1914, Ford did something that just sent shockwaves through the entire industrial world. He announced he was going to pay his workers $5 a day. And just to put that into perspective, take a look at this. We're talking more than double what the average factory worker was making at the time. People thought he was crazy. It was a massive, massive gamble.
But here's the thing. It wasn't about being generous. It was an incredibly smart business move. For one, it basically stopped workers from quitting, which was a huge problem back then. But here's the real masterstroke. Ford realized he wasn't just paying workers. He was creating customers. He was paying his employees enough money to go out and buy the very cars they were building.
So you have mass production, and you have a living wage. Those two ideas didn't just stay inside the Ford factory. They spilled out into the world and completely reshaped American society.
All of a sudden, the country felt smaller. Farmers weren't so isolated anymore. Doctors could actually get to their patients in rural areas. And the idea of the suburb, it just exploded. We literally started building our world around the automobile. And his production methods started getting copied by countless other industries.
But here's where the story gets really complicated. Because Henry Ford is a man of, well,
massive contradictions. He's the visionary who paid a high wage, but he also demanded a grueling, soul-crushing pace from his workers. And, far beyond the factory, he used his fame and fortune to publicly promote some truly ugly, prejudiced, and deeply harmful views.
And that's really the heart of it. To get a true picture of a guy like Ford, you can't just pick one side. You have to hold both of these truths in your head at the same time. The brilliant innovator who changed the world, and the deeply flawed man who held some terrible beliefs.
Which leaves us with a pretty tough question, doesn't it? Henry Ford helped build the modern world we're all living in, the good parts and the bad. So what do we do with that? How do we deal with the fact that so many of the things we take for granted came from a mind that was both so brilliant and at times so dark?